Hey y'all, welcome back as we are on episode 2 of the Imperial Riff Lords series of the history of the guitars. So I'm wearing my one of two Killers Iron Maiden Eddie shirts because today we get to hear and see the history of Eddie. This is a 1992 Washburn Mercury MG-44. I have had this since August of 1996. This is a very, very special guitar. Man, I don't play it often enough, admittedly. Of course, I have so many, it's difficult to say how often I play any of them because inspiration strikes and I can just hear them calling from the cases, play me today. You know, sometimes it's my S470, sometimes it's my Gem, sometimes it's my Custom, sometimes it's my Hamer. Just depends. But this is the next in the history in the order that I acquired it. For starters, this is the very first 24 fret guitar I ever had. It's also the very first Floyd Rose guitar I ever had. And I was pleasantly surprised to find out that the trem bar actually screws in here, because last time I had it worked on, it seemed like the piece that this screws down into. This is one of two guitars I have that has the threads on the bar like this, so it just threads down into the trim. My Wolfgang's the other one. And I just tried it the other day, and voila, it goes in there nice, and I have full use of the trim again, so not complaining about that at all. The only modification I've ever done to this guitar, besides the paint job, so actually I'll talk about that first. This is very unscripted, I'm just going off the top of my head. I bought it, it was a gloss purple color, and it was actually signed by Michelangelo, the shredder guy who plays both next at the same time. And I paid $300 for it. I actually have the original receipt. I made a special folder for it. I used to keep receipts on my gear, like people keep service records on cars. So literally, I have the original the original sales sticker. And on the back it says Seth Warsham Layaway. It's a little hard to see with the lighting in here. And then I've just got the receipts for all the payments. And I officially paid it off on August 30th, 1996. Got a receipt right there from Paradise Music Store in Warsaw, Indiana, which burned to the ground a good decade ago, which I know a lot of my musician friends were not unhappy to have seen that happen because they had a reputation for ripping people off. I stopped doing business with them long before that because they pissed me off because they overcharged me for some lights I rented for my cover band at the time. They were real dicks about it. I also have the receipts for the first hardshell case I ever bought with it. I forget what I can't remember what the Freestyle Case Company says on the side. And then it's got receipts. Here's a receipt for the paint job, the airbrush shop in Fort Wayne, Indiana. That was done in August of '97. So I got this painted because I wanted to have something done cool to it. So I went and, well, I found an ad in the local paper, a classified ad that said, airbrush your instruments with your favorite logo. So I found this Mexican dude named Rick and called him and took this guitar to him. They completely disassembled the guitar. I found receipts for them disassembling and reassembling the guitar in here too. And took it to him, and then he did a job on it. I wish I had pictures of it the way it used to look, but I don't. That looked cool at the time, but I was afraid to touch it. It looked like it had been done with pastels. It was very chalky looking and really generic. I think he charged me $100. I can't remember what the exact fee was. And so I knew something wasn't right about it, and I was afraid to play it because you could see it rub off when you would touch the body here. So I took it into this place somebody recommended me called the Airbrush Shop in Fort Wayne in the mall. And the guy who did the job on this, Paul, saw it, and he was like, dude, hide that. I don't want anybody in here thinking I did that work on it, because it was shit. So he cut me a deal for $150. He did this amazing, highly detailed job on it. This was painted in 1997. It still looks brand new with automotive clear coat. Part of the reason it looks so great is because I used this stuff called the Bright Stuff on it. Thank you, Brother Moshe. The best guitar polish I'll ever use. It makes it sparkle like a diamond. It almost completely repels fingerprints, etc., etc. It's a beautiful thing. I use it on all my guitars, and I will never use another. It's not a polish, it's more like a wax, as I use the Music Nomad polish to just clean it. But the wax is just like a car wax. You put it on there, you buff it off, and then it shines like crazy. So that was the story of the paint job. I got it back, and I was just completely blown away. And originally, the pickup here was a stock Washburn pickup. It says 521 on the neck, 512 on the middle pickup. I don't have the original bridge pickup anymore. I know I threw it out or whatever I did, but for a while it had a Seymour Duncan Screamin' Demon George Lynch humbucker, and it was the first replacement pickup I ever bought from my teacher Martin Moreno, who was a George Lynch kind of player, had the ESP Kamikaze and everything. And he sold it to me for $40. It was a white pickup, and it went in here. And that was the one pickup I've had go bad. The coil in it went bad or something. I'd get a replacement. So I got a replacement black one. And after a while, that pickup just didn't have any personality to it. It was really just kind of rough and noisy sounding and didn't have a lot of personality. So the other Washburn guitar I used to have, I had a Dimebag Dime Bolt, and I put a Tony Iommi signature humbucker from Black Sabbath in there. There's a Gibson pickup. That's what this is. This has been in here since 2002 or so, and it's the only Gibson product I have ever owned. I love Gibson tone, and I've played some really great Gibsons, but you know, like a lot of us, I can't afford Gibson, and their quality has been crap for a really long time. So they are not instruments that I care much about. As most people know, I'm an Ibanez junkie through and through. Those are my favorite guitars. But I used to have a trim stabilizer in the back. You see the back of the guitar, just very plain Jane, old style neck joint with the bolt-on versus the all-access where it's rounded off. And this is a Washburn 600S licensed Floyd Rose. Of course, it's got a maple fretboard. And this is a quite a bit thicker neck in the back, you can tell, than an Ibanez or any of my other guitars. It's not uncomfortable at all. This thing plays immaculately well, thanks to my good friend Matt Battaglia, who was the tech at the Guitar Center I was teaching at pre-COVID. He really whipped this thing back into shape and brought it back to life. After my buddy Nick Appelman did it a couple of years before, the action was super high. Like the action on the high E string was so high I thought I was going to break it when I would bend it. But now it's completely playable, wicked awesome. I had a trim stabilizer in the bridge, which allows you to use the trim fully functionally, but it makes it much stiffer. You're still in reasonably decent tune if you break a string. But after Nick convinced me a floating trim would actually stay in tune, I took all the trim stabilizers out of all my guitars. I still have them, but I don't use them anymore. I don't like the feel of a stabilized trim anymore. It's too stiff, and there's a lot of things you can't do if it doesn't float. Let's see, what else is on this thing? Yeah, nothing else has been replaced other than the bridge pickup. And there's just a couple little dings on it. There's one you can see right here. It's a little scuffed up. But that's just a little crack in the clear coat. There's one right here. You know, no major big deal. And yeah, that's it as far as the features. It's got a really good sound. I'm going to plug it in and give you a little sound demo too. The last time I had this on stage was December 23rd, 2019 at the Viper Room in Hollywood. Played Wasted Years by Maiden on it, so I had to get it out for that. That was the last time I was on stage at any kind of official performance. And then before that, I took it to a Halloween jam at Cheers in South Bend in 2013. And the last time I had it on stage before that was at a Halloween gig in 2007. So it doesn't come out very often. I should play it more, but I said that about all my guitars. But this is a very, very, very special instrument. It's one of my most prized possessions I ever have. And whenever I kick off, hopefully that'll be a while yet, if he's still around, and I hope he is, it's going to my brother Sean. So let's go ahead and plug her in and get some tones and just give an idea of what it sounds like. We'll just start on the neck pickup. Maybe. Okay. Didn't realize the amp volume was all the way down. Okay, so I just got a little bit of amp reverb. That's the only thing I've got going into the signal. So this is the neck pickup. Very smooth. It's one of the few stock neck pickups I really like. I usually change them out. Now here's the second position, the neck in the middle. Definitely noticeably thinner. Here's just the middle single coil, which I never use by itself. Doesn't sound bad at all. Just admittedly, one reason I probably call myself Humbucker man also is that single coils just have never been loud enough for me to hear them on stage over the drum kit or anything else going on. Here is the fourth position, or technically the second position, the middle coil and the top coil of the bridge pickup. And then here is the bridge pickup. The main feature of this bridge pickup is it is extremely articulate. The clarity is big, and it's got a lot of note definition and a lot of sustain. So I'm just going to play a maiden riff with the pickup distorted on the bridge pickup and just do a little bit of noodling. So we might as well do a maiden riff. We'll do Phantom of the Opera. So very nice and smooth in every note in there. You can, even on a 5150, if you turn the gain all the way up, the notes are very well defined with this pickup. And then let's do say Wrathchild. Sloppy. I haven't played that song for a long time. And then you just got the neck pickup. And nice and creamy, like a neck pickup should sound. And then your bridge pickup. So, just a little bit of a taste of what this guitar sounds like. It's just a super, it's pretty versatile. It's just a super cool guitar. It's one I'm super in love with, and of course I'll never part with it until I leave this earth. But that is episode 2 of History of My Guitars. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'm looking forward to showing you the next one next month. I've been meaning to do this all month long, so I'm going to be releasing each one of these videos towards the end of the month, somewhere in the 3rd week. Today's the 26th of February, 2021. So, again, thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more. Please hit the subscribe button, click the bell, and I will see you on the next video. Up the irons. Peace out. And that is the history of Eddie.